What is the most embarrassing thing you've ever done in class?
Well, not in class, but outside of class. I tripped on the stairs and my books went everywhere. They just tumbled down the stairs and kind of hit a few seniors too, so,
Pretty awkward?
Yes, very awkward.
Alright. What is the most embarrassing thing you've ever done in school?
Well, I've done many embarrassing things, but the most embarrassing thing was I fell in the commons. I went splat on my face last winter. And it was right before the bell rang at 8 o'clock, so there were a lot of people around. And the worst part was, not a single person laughed.
The most embarrassing thing I've probably done is lost my shoe out of one of my old teacher's windows. We were throwing stuff around, and somehow my shoe just kind of got thrown out the window.
It's pretty embarrassing.
Yeah, I had to go get it with one foot.
Yeah, I'd be
in a
embarrassed.
sock. Yeah, it was pretty bad.
Yeah, it should be.
Well, one time over down by Mr. Glitko's room, I tried to jump from the top of those stairs down to the bottom of those stairs by his room, and I fell and almost broke my ankle. And it hurt for another week, so it's pretty bad. There's a lot of people there too, so that didn't help.
Well, last semester in PE class, we were playing California kickball, and I was running to third base, and I tripped over my own feet and slid into third base, and then I had a huge bruise that big on my knee. It was really embarrassing.
On the first day of classes, you go through a lot of rules and expectations. You tell a little bit about yourself. I'm not the tallest person, so I talk about that being kind of an issue sometimes in my life, and that's okay. So that happened. And then I'm going through all my lesson plans, don't do this, make sure you raise your hand, all this stuff. And there comes a point later in the day when you get a little bit edgier by the end of the day. You're sort of explaining yourself all the time. And I had just said, I don't want to repeat myself on these sets of rules. So please listen to me once. I will not do it again. And so from the front of the row, after I say something like, don't go to the bathroom so much that I know when it's going to happen, Brendan Kavanaugh raises his hand and says, can you say that again? And I say, I think it was exhausted, but I go, what, are you deaf? And he turns his head and points at his hearing aid.
That's pretty bad.
And so that moment was probably one of the most frightening and embarrassing moments in teaching, but it was cherry on the top moment, knowing who this kid is now, who Brendan is now. He responds right back, he goes, it's okay, aren't you short? And I'm like, oh my gosh, not fired. So it was that moment of embarrassment, but it was really his ability to sort of have that little joke back and forth. But I've definitely been on guard a lot more with little jokes like that. And so that was a very, I think, embarrassing moment. There's always a lot more, but that's definitely one of my big blunders, I think. So